They are an important element of elasmobranch diversity. They're perfectly adapted to life on the seabed, lying often covered in sand and shingle, hidden below the surface. And they're also oviparous. They lay eggs, and those eggs allow us to engage the public through citizen science in the fantastic diversity that we have around our coasts.
Skates and rays are important for me because they are my main study object here at ILVO. I do experiments with them to determine how long they survive after catch and discarding. Yeah, they have a specific lifestyle. They're very sensitive animals as well, more sensitive, I would say, than other commercial species. That makes them interesting to study.
Since a young age, I've been intrigued by elasmobranchs, and I really developed my study to be able to study elasmobranchs. So now as a fisheries biologist, I was able to work for the fishing industry where I saw how the fisheries dealt with rays, and now I can really study them. And I think they're a very important part of the ecosystem and also part of the catch in the industry.
They're very good to eat. Some say they're the best fish in the sea. But of course they're also very important for biodiversity. They perform an important role in the ecosystem, and we certainly couldn't do without them.
They've become a more important species over the last 10 years, ever since we've lost the cod fishery. The cod fishery has disappeared, really, and it's become more important that we catch skates and rays. It's a major species in the area and extremely plentiful.
And skates and rays are part of the ecosystem, and they're also quite an important fishery. And we try to get a bit of a balance between protecting the environment and allowing the fishermen to catch fish.
The current regulations and way of managing fisheries is based on stocks which are very fecund. They produce millions of eggs. Species like skates and rays only produce a few eggs. The way of managing populations is totally different. There's a lot that could be done to improve the management of skates and rays.
Nog is in beide gevallen een heel belangrijke bijvangst. Dus als we kijken wat dat de vangsten zijn, dan komt dat toch ongeveer op de derde plaats wat omzet betreft voor onze sector.
Het is toch ongeveer 3 of 4% van je opbrengst, zeg maar, van je bezoming. Maar over het algemeen dan ga je ze misvissen, want er is eigenlijk wel veel rog.
Il y a eu en même temps une limitation considérable des possibilités de pêche sur cette espèce. Il y a donc un décalage important entre le ressenti des professionnels et ce que la réglementation TAC et quota nous impose.
On dit toujours qu'il y a de moins en moins de poissons, mais il y en a de plus en plus. Et on n'a pas le droit de le pêcher parce qu'on n'a pas les quotas. Actuellement, on fait le projet Sumaris, qui consiste à ramener les raies vivantes pour l'exemption de survie dans la raie bouclée et la raie lisse, d'adapter les quotas en fonction de certaines espèces.
The biggest problem we have around the UK is discarding. There should be some regulations put into place on the catching of all precious stock species.
Ik vind de maatregelen die er zijn, die zijn wel goed. Vooral de lengtebepalingen. En daar gaat dan natuurlijk ook over de prijsval die je zou krijgen. Want ze zijn in principe al niet veel waard. En als je dan ook nog te klein aan zou voeren, en geef ze maar de kans om groter te worden. En dat er misschien toch weer een markt voor komt, dat het iets beter wordt allemaal weer.
Het quotasysteem of de tak in feite, de total catch, is één bepaalde tak voor allerlei soorten samen. En dus is een beperking van de tak die er nu bestaat, doordat er een aantal soorten in die gemengde tak er zijn die het niet goed doen, is heel nadelig voor ons en kan weinig beheerd worden.
I think the 3 most important ones are also the ones that were voted as the most popular ones during the Samaris meeting in Canterbury. So first of all, change the tuck. Secondly, avoidance of certain nursery and spawning areas. And the third one is minimum size restrictions per species.
I think that's a very difficult question because you're dealing with biology, but you're still dealing with socioeconomic sides. And how to improve, I think we should maybe look at, for example, looking at minimum landing sizes, or for example, looking at how sensitive species and the less sensitive species can be split.
What we need to do is stop discarding. Now this can be done very simply by technical measures and effort control, restricting the amount of gear that they actually put in the water and for the amount of hours per year that they put that gear in the water. But in return, allowing them to keep everything they catch.
C'est vraiment très important pour nous de conserver l'exemption de survie. Bruxelles, il met un quota global en sud, mer du Nord et Manche-Est parce qu'on n'a que de l'arrêt bouclé et de l'arrêt lisse. Donc il y a un gros décalage entre les possibilités de pêche et le stock qu'on nous attribue.
Il va falloir que nous parvenions à valoriser la database qui va être établie donc avec les États membres partenaires du projet. L'objectif est de réaliser un atlas de ces espèces-là sur les zones qui nous concernent, pour avoir une bonne représentation de ces espèces, pour permettre d'optimiser les quotas et de les individualiser par espèce et par taille.
For our local area, then it would be really good if we could have some spatial management to protect where there's juveniles or where they're laying eggs. And currently doing some research, and then we can look at protecting those really vulnerable life stages.
The better data that we can secure for skates and rays, the more appropriate the management. Improved spatial, temporal, even seasonal scales will really help deliver a more sustainable future for these species.
And the skates and rays move around quite a lot inside and outside. It would be good to have something more kind of specific within our area to protect them and make sure that they're being managed.
The first thing would be to have a TAC that's differentiated between the different species. This makes it difficult to manage particular species. The second thing would be to build an understanding of the biology and the ecosystem and the way in which the animals live within that ecosystem, such as where they breed, where they grow, where they lay their eggs. And to do that, we need to enlist the help of fishermen, scientists, conservationists, to try and build up that picture. And once we've done that, we can say we're looking at an ecosystem approach to the fisheries and the management of them.
However, there are improvements. We're now seeing species-specific recording, avoidance of the larger, more vulnerable species, and an increased emphasis on regional management.
Et on essaye aussi de former les jeunes pêcheurs pour bien reconnaître les types de raies et les rejeter vivantes.
De kennis natuurlijk van de roggenvisserij, de kennis van de rog zelf, van de soort, voor reders, voor schippers, voor bemanningsleden, kan ook heel wat doen aan de duurzaamheid van de roggenvisserij. Vandaar dat Summaris dan ook zo'n interessant project is om te blijven volgen van onze kant.